Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to my Beautiful Nights channel. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to make a very simple bracelet. Everybody should be able to make this bracelet, especially with the beads that you have in your stash. And I'm actually using beads from the last two Dollar Bead Boxes that I got because I think I got one in late. I got last month's in late, and then I got the next one in early. So anyways, I had made this bracelet probably 2 weeks ago, and I've not been able to film it till now. But when I made this, the reason why I did a bracelet like this is because I realized there is a lot of flat beads that we get in the Dollar Bead Box, and I really wanted to showcase how pretty they are. And I've shown before how you could take flat beads and make them into earrings, and I showed how to stabilize the bead so it does not turn. The flat side stays in the front of your face, it does not spin. And so I thought I would like to do a bracelet, but do something a little fancier. So I went back to this style of bracelet here, which is known by several different names. Now in America, this bracelet is mostly known by a slave bracelet or hand flower. And before, I've made bracelets similar to this, and I did one that had a chain ring. Hopefully I can find a picture and put it up now. But that had a chain ring. I did flowers here weaved. It was all like separate parts, and then a chain going around the back of the hand. That was truly a hand flower because it was made out of flowers. And I did another one that was kind of based on a rosary. And I think those were two of them. And I've also done a barefoot sandal type of jewelry where you put this on your toe and then this goes up around your foot. This style of bracelet, I didn't know, but it's actually called by several different names. Now, like I said, in America, we know it as a slave bracelet or hand flower. And on one of those videos that I did tutorial, I think it was the flower slave bracelet, hand flower that I did, someone talked about the history of this bracelet, and I thought it was really interesting. So I did some research myself, and I found that several different cultures actually make bracelets like this, where it's a ring attached to a bracelet. Now, when I did those videos, I had some people that were offended and saying that it was wrong for me to call it slave bracelet. But that is not my name. I did not come up with that name. That is what the style is called. And I'll even show you here. If you Google slave bracelet terms, it says the term slave bracelet refers to a style of jewelry that has a chain or other attachment from the bracelet to one or more finger rings. Commonly, there is a central piece, island, or hand connector, excuse me, I can barely see, I'm reading it in the camera, between the ring and bracelet that rests on the back of the hand. So when it says island or hand connector there, that piece is actually talking about the like chandelier earring findings. You can use that in this area, and you can have chains going this way and then have it coming around here. There's so many different ways to make this. So what I'm trying to say is, all those people that got offended by me calling it slave bracelet, that was not my name idea. That is what this is known by. So I did some research because someone commented on my video and said how this design actually came from the Indian culture. So I found that this bracelet is actually called by multiple names from several different cultures, and it's really interesting. So harem bracelet is another name for this bracelet. Haath panja, I hope I'm saying that right, that's the Indian one. And then hand adornment, that's another name for it. And hearth phool, I'm hoping I'm saying that right. It's like haath phool, something like that. I don't know. It's like a different language. But anyways, I thought it was really interesting. And so when I searched these different names, I got different results every time. When I searched for slave bracelet and harem flowers, I saw a lot of them made with metal, But some of the most interesting looking ones was when I searched this name, haath, panja, that's the Indian version. And as you can see, there are some gorgeous ones here. Now this one here is more for a wedding, is what I'm getting from my research. It has 5 rings. This one here has 5. Let's look at this one. This one is gorgeous. Look at that. That is incredible. Now, I'm not crazy about wearing rings on my pinky finger. I guess because I have super short pinky fingers. But I do like thumb rings and wearing rings on this finger. So in the future, I really would like to design one of these that has 3 rings and a lot of adornment here on the back of the hand and the bracelet. So anyways, I just thought that this was really interesting to see all the different cultures that do this bracelet here. And I will put, by the way, all the different names that this is called by down there so you can look them up for yourself, because you will be so inspired by all the different looking bracelets. By the way, you can totally make this into a barefoot sandal if you want, and here is how you do it. Go ahead, make up a little pattern and string your beads onto bead string wire, and you're going to want to hold right here where you started stringing your beads at the very back of your ankle. And then string your beads and go halfway around your ankle to the very front of your foot in the center. You do not have to have an exact number of beads because you can adjust that number later on. And then once you get halfway around your ankle, you're going to want to pick up your beads for the top of your foot. Now this is how it will be different for everybody because we all have different size feet. I have a size 8 foot and my sister has a size 10, so my barefoot sandal would not fit her. She would need either an extension chain on it, or I would have to elongate this part here. So this is the part that goes either right here on the back of your hand or on the top of your foot if you're making this into a barefoot sandal. So you want to do this from the front of your ankle all the way down to your toes. And then once you get there, you then have to string the amount that you need to go around your toe. I found the perfect number to be 4 inches. I don't know if it will be the same for your foot or not. You would have to check that for yourself. And then once you have that strung, you're then going to take your wire and feed it up through the center here that's going to be on top of your foot or the back of your hand, and then you string the beads here to go around your foot. And as you can see, I'm working on a spool because I don't like my beads to fall off. And then once you have it looking like this, you can go ahead and cut your wire off your spool, and then you can try it on better, which that's basically how I'm going to make this bracelet. But I wanted to show you the measurements I have. You're probably not going to have the same exact measurements. Now, I do have very small hands. Whenever I wear gloves, I have to wear a medium glove, and my fingers never go up to the end of the glove. I have very short fingers, very small hands. I actually wear kids' gloves. It's ridiculous. So this part here I made pretty short. Depending on the size of your hand, you might have to adjust it some. So go ahead and string your beads that go around your wrist. You want to go halfway around your wrist, just like you would do with your ankle. And this does not have to be an exact number, like I said, because you can adjust this. I probably will end up making this a little bit shorter. And then I have my beads here, and again, I might edit that part out. I had said earlier, but I don't know if I'll keep the footage, that all of these beads, except for the seed beads. The seed beads are mine. All of the other beads are from the Dollar Bead Box. The same with this bracelet. Only the seed beads are mine. So I have that there strung up, and I'll show you a close-up of my pattern. I really like these colors together. The flower beads are amazing. So this is my pattern. You don't have to do the same exact pattern. Play around with your design, okay? And then I have this section here. And I did say when I opened that Dollar Bead Box, there was this beaded chain, and I said how I might take the chain apart to use some of the beads, and I did. As you can see, I have the peach ones here. I really like those with my little bug bead. And my bug's actually defective. One of his legs is messed up, so when I wear this, I can actually have this side flipped up because it's flat, and I don't have to see the missing foot. So that's great, right? especially if you have a one-sided flat bead, because we all have those. And this part, I will measure this though for you. I currently have this at 4 inches, but I'm thinking it may have to go shorter. I do have to have it a little bit longer because it is going, I should try this on. Because I have this going like this, you do have to have it just a little bit longer than your normal bracelet, unless you go far down to here. But I really like this V shape right here that's in the back of my hand. See that V right here? I really like how that looks, so that's why I had this part here shorter, but you can definitely adjust this length if you want. You could do whatever you want. It's your design. So measuring mine, this little part is just under 1.25 inches. Yeah, it's pretty short. That one was a little bit longer. You could probably do 2 inches. Just have to see what your hand's like. And then for the ring, I do have this being a loose ring. It's 4 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and string this. And that's my pattern, by the way. I did 4mm Drux, that's the blue one, and 3mm check fire polish beads with 11 seed beads. You can do all seed beads. This has 8 seed beads and 11 seed beads. This one has rondelles, melon beads from the other box. This one here is very Day of the Dead themed. I thought that was pretty cool. I've done a Day of the Dead jewelry and it was pretty popular. So there's my beads for the ring. And I have found, you want to pass back up through a larger bead. See how I have this, I think it's called a hexagon check bead. I have that there. And then a seed bead, and you also want to come out of a bigger bead. Smaller beads won't do well. And I'm going to show you after I get through here. This area right here, okay, where I feed up through, you don't want to use a seed bead here because it can break. From the tension, this is opened up, it's going on your finger, seed bead can break. You want a larger bead, at least a 4mm bead, probably being the biggest, okay? But these here are 6mm, and then I have my center focal, and then that again. So I'm just going to slide that like that, and then I have to string the rest of my beads here, which I'm going to do out of frame or fast forward because it will take some time, and I will be back. So I finished stringing my beads on the other side, and I have tried it on. And one of the reasons why I like to have this part here shorter and not have this go all the way down to the top of the wrist is because when you move your hand around, and I'm going to pull that tight right there. When you move your hand around, move your hand back like this. See that movement there? Do you see how it touches? It's actually perfect. Now that's a little less than 1.25 inches. This area from here to here, okay? So if that was longer, I would have a huge loop like that on the back of my hand. And also, you're going to want to bend your hand down like this and see how it feels. Mine feels pretty good, but I have to add my class, and that could adjust it. So I'm actually going to, I'm trying to figure out if I need to remove a 3mm bead right now. I'm kind of thinking that I might have to on each side. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this off the spool, and then I will make my decision. So I will be back. So after trying this on again, I have decided to take off 2 11 seed beads and a 3mm check fire polish bead because it was just too long. This one here is too long for me. Measuring this one from the beads, okay, to the end there is actually 4 1/8 inches. And then and that's on both sides, okay. And then measuring the clasp, my lobster claw is actually 1/2 inch long. And then when I measure it with the jump ring or split ring, it's 3/4 inch long. And then adding what threw me off, this is what threw me off, the measurement of my crimp beads and that loop of the bead stringing wire, that's what threw me off on this one. So that there is a total inch. So I realized that the seed beads in the 3mm, if I remove those, this one would probably be the perfect length. And if you are making this for somebody, this distance here that I have is probably going to be for everybody that I did on that one. Let me see, I didn't measure this one. This one is at 1.5 inches, but I liked this one more. So it's like between 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches for the back of your hand. But you saw when I went like this, how it was from there to there. But I guess everybody might be different. I don't know. If you make this bracelet, let me know in the comments if you had to adjust that part on the back of your hand. But this here is going to be the biggest part, trying to get this right. And what you can do if you're making this for someone, you can make it on the smaller side and add an extension chain, and it will probably make it easier to put on. Put a weight on the extension chain. At the very end of the chain, put a bead dangle because it weighs it down, and when you put it on, it'll be easier to put on. And this, by the way, is not bad putting it on. What I do is I put it on like this. I have the lobster claw on this side, and then this dangles over here. I grab the lobster claw and I go like this to clip it on. I can't really show it in the camera frame. I do find you can't actually bend it like that. Curves it down. And then, am I in frame here? And then go ahead and clip it. But you can put a chain on this to make it be able to fit anybody. And also, it weighs it down because this is light here. So you can also put a charm on that to make it heavy. Or like I said, a chain and a bead link. And attach it to it. So this here is going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to do my crimping. And I'm using crimp beads because I only have crimp beads in antique bronze. I don't have crimp tubes in antique bronze. And I've noticed whenever I use crimp beads, they crack. At least this kind does. I got this from Walmart back in the day because all of the crimp beads that I could find at the time were all silver, and they had antique brass. So I'm going to be using these. Okay, and it does not really matter what side you put your clasp on because you could flip this. So I'm going to put my clasp on. You could also use a toggle for this if you want. And I'm not really going to feed a lot of my wire back through there. I'm probably going to go just like this. And I'm just going to flatten this because, like I said, when I fold crimp beads, this kind from Walmart, they crack. And then I can't finish my piece. I have to redo it. Okay, squish it. And then I'm going to feed my beads down. I might fast forward through some of this. I don't know. Okay, so I have my beads there, slid down, my wire's hidden. Then I'm just going to go like this, put my finger in this loop and pull this wire here. It's going to slide those down, and then I pull this wire, and then I slide all of these down. Now, let's say that you want to stop right here and try this on, and it changed. It doesn't fit you. It's too big. You need to remove beads. Not all hope is lost. You could still fix it. You just have to take these beads off, and if you do take them off, I recommend that you lay them down like this on your mat. Okay, these are just some tricks and tips I have for you. Like this. Put your hand over top, slowly pull your wire out, and they will be lined up straight, okay? So when you have to restring them, you just go straight through. It only takes like a minute, less than a minute actually. And then go all the way back to here, adjust this, take a bead out, add a bead, anything you need to fix, and then you restring everything, okay? And then try it on again to get your perfect length. So that's just some tips that I have for you, okay? Now I'm going to get mine tight. I might put crimp covers on this. I don't know. I have to go searching for mine. This is what I have so far. I think it looks pretty cool. I was also thinking you can make a lanyard like this. Pick up the crimp bead. I'm using a split ring, by the way, because they don't open very easily. And then feed this wire down. I think I'm gonna go right there. Slide this down. Okay. Which one is loose? I usually like to do this part here with my pliers. I hold this in place and then I pull this down. But I want to make sure that this is not real stiff. This needs to be able to bend. We need some suppleness over here. But we don't want to see like loose wire. My loop here can be tightened just a little bit. You know, I've also noticed that when I do use the crimping tool and I fold the crimp, it makes my loop here smaller. So if I don't make this loop big enough and then I go to crimp it, this loop shrinks like halfway. And then this ring or the clasp is so tight in there that it will be like this and it won't move. That is a pain in the butt. I hate that. I feel like one of the hardest techniques for me when I was getting into jewelry making was doing the crimping. And I don't mean folding it and squishing it. Actually, not the crimping. I would say the tension of the piece. Getting this just right. Because you want this to be movable. If you get it too tight, it'll be so stiff that it doesn't want to move right. Tuck that in there. And bracelets and necklaces are stiff. The beads, they will actually get stuck. They don't want to spin properly. This here looks pretty good. It seems pretty soft. So I like that. I think it would be really cute though if I did have a chain extension with a bead dangle. That would make it even cuter. But that is it. Isn't that pretty? It's very pretty. This is it. I'm on to film my next tutorial. It's going to be a ring video. Flower ring. It's going to be a crazy flower. It's going to be kind of different from the other flowers I've made, so make sure that you check that video out. It should be uploaded a couple days, hopefully, after this one. So this is it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and make sure you click the bell button so that you get notified whenever I upload new videos, and check me out on my social media sites.